Alright, so I've got some more things to document. What I've done now is I've added a fourth coil here. Now this coil is basically wrapped around this way, where C1 and C2 come out at the same time. It's basically just a coil wrapped on itself. So if you got a long piece of copper wire and you just looped it around and you didn't cut this end here, and then you took that and you wrapped it around the core. So basically I've wrapped it around B coil there. As you can see, it's right there, and the two ends C1 and C2 come out here, the blue lead with the purple color and the blue lead with the gray color. Alright, and the LEDs are basically in this arrangement. That's times 15, and then C2 is connected to B1 and C1 is connected to A1. Now this seems to give a bit of a boost to the entire circuit with almost no milliamp draw, or extra milliamp draw I should say, based on the frequency. So if the frequency is wrong, then obviously milliamps will go through the roof. If the frequency is correct and the duty cycle is correct, then you'll get a boost with no increase on the load, and in some cases a decrease on the load. So everything is basically the same. We've got 40 kilohertz at 10% duty cycle. Now this is the worst arrangement. If we were to go down to 30 hertz, and if you watch the LEDs, these will become brighter, these will become slightly brighter, and our milliamps has gone up a little bit. Now we can counter that by lowering the duty cycle, and they go back to what they were previously at 40 kilohertz pretty much in intensity. Now this is the proof that shows that this is a boost. So you can see when I disconnect it how the LEDs shift, but the milliamps pretty much hold steady at 100 milliamps. Now anywhere else, if I were to go to that, it basically kills and interrupts all the LEDs there while increasing the milliamps. So this arrangement where they are at C2 to B1 and C1 to A1 is the best at the moment, and it's really evident when you go down to 10 kilohertz at an extremely low duty cycle of about 5%. So now you can see how much brighter these are compared to these, although they're almost the same. 5% duty cycle, 133 milliamps, close to what we had at 40, although the duty cycle was a lot lower. So we can go a bit lower. Now they're almost matching. A bit lower. Now they're on, but not very bright. And now they're on barely, about milliamps. We're at 16 microamps here. So we're still getting high voltage at very low microamps. And if we go to 10% duty cycle, we get high milliamps, but our brightness is, they're not matched. And yeah, pretty bright for these. I mean, that's definitely torch level brightness there. If we go to 20 kilohertz, we have a smaller milliamp draw. LEDs didn't really change much. Playing with the duty cycle, 9%, 8%, 7%, 6%. Now they're almost identical. Now these ones are stronger than these ones. At 5% duty cycle, 58 microamps. Now let's see if this meter likes to play. Okay. So when I go to actual microamps, it's saying 167 at DC. If I go to milliamp setting, it's saying it's 58. So there are discrepancies here with this multimeter. And I'm not sure if any of this is actually accurate. That's when I guess I'll find out when I get my Crow and scope it out. But voltage, everything stays the same. We're basically drawing milliamps, so that battery's been running for days, running these experiments for days. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to show, is that there is a benefit to that coil that is a non-inducing coil. So there is no induction happening through here, and I've tested that and verified it for myself. I've tried to pulse through C1 and C2 to get any sort of LEDs running. Basically gets one LED running off of 12 volts, so bare minimum induction there. So most of this is getting cancelled out. The waveforms are getting cancelled out. You're getting pure potential out. How that works with messing around with the other coils here, I'm not too sure yet. I'm still learning. I do see some similarities when it comes to like Don Smith and Capanzi and some of those older guys, where they have this C coil running underneath all these. Right now mine's on top. I have seen videos where people have been putting them on top and they say underneath is actually better. So this isn't from anecdotal evidence shows me that that's not the best arrangement, but I guess I'm going to have to experiment with that myself. Putting this arrangement right through and wrapping around it may have some other effects that would be beneficial, and or not, but that's for experimentation. Keep trying to find people that have done replications, but everybody has their own naming scheme and things like that, and it's quite hard to figure out what the hell is going on, who's doing what. Chris's website, AboveUnity, does help. There's a lot of correlation with information there, although I do find, don't take an offense to this, Chris, if you are watching, but I do find a lot of it hard to understand the way it's laid out. But that's just me, obviously. You can't cater to everybody, and I can't be, you can't, basically impart information that everybody can understand. Some people just don't, like me. So I'm getting there, hopefully. As you can see, just connecting the coil. Milliamps do not change. Now this does seem to me like it's just shifting the inductance from kind of one side to the other. As you can see, relatively speaking, the brightness on both sides equals out, and the milliamps stay the same. So yeah, that C coil wrapped around that way in a non-inducting way is interesting. It has there's definitely effects to it. What they mean and how to use them, that's what I'm still learning. But alright, this has been almost 10 minutes, so yeah, that's all I've got so far.